All right. Hopefully the internet does not poop itself in the middle of me talking. Thank God it pooped itself like kind of right before I actually started. So, for those who don't know and are new to this video, I am live streaming. Got broken things, so it's a little harder to record and edit. Takes a little bit longer. So this is the solution for right now. For those who usually often find themselves curious about the machinations of the world or not so curious, they'll usually say, "So what?" But if you ask Vince Staples, his "So What" is a new single off of what I believe to be an upcoming concept project about him, you know, sort of done in the vein of a TV show. And so he gifted us with the single as well as an accompanying video that sort of, again, is more relishing in the concept than the actual song. And so with this song, "So What," there's not really anything too full of depth here to explore. It's sort of just kind of the nature of Vince and how he has responded to how people's reception of him is. And for him, he kind of just gives it a nonchalant, like, okay, whatever. Quite literally put through with the title, but also in his demeanor. Except the sort of TV concept sort of makes this case that there's something deeper there, other than because like he goes to get a haircut and then he ends up in a fight and then he just leaves the broken barbershop a little broken and battered. Did a really cool backflip hit. That was interesting. And I'm not sure yet how they'll all kind of tie together. This is episode 1. That's what he called it. So what, episode 1 and part of the Vince Staples show. And I guess maybe it's talking about if I had to do the whole reach, he might potentially be talking about how since he's a celebrity, pretty much everything he does is sort of for show. I'm gonna try and put the mic down. I've made a habit of like having the microphone up when I can just put it keys. Jesus, if I can just put it here without setting everything on fire. All right. So yeah, I think as far as it goes, the idea of Vince Staples show, him being a celebrity and people looking at him as sort of a source of entertainment constantly, sort of reminds me of way back when, if you want to travel back to the days of Earl's first album, second album, I guess. It depends on what you look at as Earl's first album, but Doris. And there's a song on there that's one of my favorites, and I cannot remember the name, but pretty much Vince acts sort of as this. He does a mocking act of people who don't care about sort of Earl's well-being or existence. They only care about the fact that he can produce entertainment for them, and they don't care about what he's going through. They just want bars, nigga, bars. And so maybe in a way, Vince is taking that same idea and expanding it out to be a part of this bigger project, i.e., the Vince Staples show. And So What is just sort of one characteristic that he has. And as we go through I'm sure there'll be more than one episode, going through these episodes, we'll start to see a more fleshed out picture of Vince himself, even though I think that throughout his albums we have been getting that, but this one is going to be a more direct sort of TV feeling. Now, again, I'm not sure of the correlation between the actual episode, the video that was shot, sort of him going to go get a haircut and being in a fight, and how that correlates here. I mean, I guess with the line talking about how they still hate him despite the things that he portrays, despite the acts that he has, despite these things, he still doesn't really get a lot of fanfare, I guess, from people within his community, maybe, or people just in general don't really look at him in a positive light. And so maybe he's not wrestling with it, but sort of just kind of being like, okay, that's that, throwing an internal shrug. And sometimes when you deal with something that's so consistently negative, usually one of the reactions may be kind of just a sort of not sullen, but kind of apathetic, cool, I guess this is my life now type of deal. And while it doesn't seem that Vince is resigned to this fact, it seems more like he's kind of just cool with it. He's like, all right, whatever. I got more things to do than worry about this. It does seem as though he is trying to like push that idea that he does not really care and it's more about embracing oneself. And maybe this can work as motivation for others listening to this guy who is probably constantly surrounded by different kind of vultures of all varieties trying to make a go at him, and he kind of regards it or disregards it pretty much as just something as a minor annoyance. And being able to disregard something that might summon fear or anguish or frustration as like kind of a mere annoyance sort of gives you more power. So more power to Vince. Beyond that, as far as it goes, I really like, obviously there wasn't really too much here, song structure wise or song wise. It's kind of a really simple song. It's really bathed in brevity, and pretty much Vince kind of just offhand mentions, "Yo, if she's hot, let's go. Like, let's do the sexual things because sex is great." I mean, he's not wrong, but I don't know. So he talks about that, and then he kind of offhand mentions some things, and then we kind of get lost in the chorus slash hook a little bit, and then we come back, and he kind of raps a little bit about yeah, he talks about, hey, why hate yourself? Just why not take out that frustration on a rival, someone who you dislike. Now, I don't think Vince is out here advocating for murder. He's more probably advocating for like take out that energy that you're like wasting against yourself and take it out against someone who is trying to hold you down. Be fueled by spite instead of it letting spite fuel your downfall. Let spite fuel your come uppance. No, comeuppance is the wrong word. Come fuel your ascension. Fuel your ascension so that way you can do the cool things you want to do. And also, Ascension is actually a song that Vince Staples was on Gorillaz album. It's pretty great. Beyond that, there's really not much I took away from the song. I feel like after only like two listens, I kind of got what I'm gonna get out of it. But we'll see if that changes once the full project is released. I don't even know how long it's gonna be, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes from here. Well, this guy says sometimes the world may bear itself down on you, and sometimes all you can do is give it a shrug. Whittled down, whittled down by fate and time and frustration. Shrug, and you may just whittle down the old guard yourself. Keep on fighting. All my life I had to fight. All my life I had to fight.